Depue. I'm 20 years old, from Prescott, and then living in Flagstaff for school and work. Born in California. I lived there for 15 years, and then about 5 years ago, my family and I moved to Arizona, and then we've been here for about 5 years now. I grew up racing BMX for about 3 or 4 years. So we would go to like Horseman's, we'd go out to Lucerne in California, and every Friday I remember like we would just go after school and knock out a BMX race.
And you were the one that got in the mountain biking,
right? I was. My family always kind of jokes around about it because like every time we go to a race or like every time they kind of break apart, they're like, oh my god, this is all because of you, like you got us into the sport, blah 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 blah. And I started my junior year. When we moved to Arizona, I kind of like stopped being active. I didn't really do too much. It's like I gotta get out and do something. So I tried running cross country, hated running. I found out about the mountain bike team at the end of my sophomore year. I was like, shoot, this looks like a lot of fun. So we've been doing it ever since then. My brother did, Ryan Depue did. He grew up racing dirt bikes, and then I kind of wanted to race my quad because I was on a Honda 400 EX. And I was riding that, having a lot of fun with it, and I just wasn't old enough to race the quad that I was on because I was always really tall for my age. And so I had to wait until I was 16, and then I ended up crashing all the time and hurting myself, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be riding quads anymore. One time I had a rope with me because our friend's quad broke down. You grab a rope, pull start the quad, not the rope. And on the way back home, I set the rope in my lap and it started dragging behind me, got caught in the rear axles while I was in like 4th or 5th gear, completely like tossed the quad into the air. I ended up getting pretty hurt from that. Broke quite a few parts on the quad. I remember when I crashed, my ankle hurt more than anything. So I thought maybe like I broke my ankle or something. That was fine. I just walked away with a really, really bad scar on my wrist from the rope because the rope wrapped around my wrist and then like yanked me off the quad kind of thing. So that was really bad. My arm was like super like big around for the longest time, for maybe like a month, and I didn't have any feeling in these 2 fingers for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Now I just have a pretty bad scar.
So did you have stitches?
No stitches. They actually called it a burn. You can kind of see there's like little dots from like the texture of the rope on there, which is kind of weird. Like NBAA, I'm racing pro. Most of the UCI races, like California, Bonelli, Vail, doing pro for those as well. But for nationals, I did U23 last year and then pro short track. I like the descents more. They're just so much more fun. Like, as I've become stronger with fitness and everything, like the climbs have definitely become more enjoyable, but totally like the descent. Hands down descent all the time. Right now I'm on Arizona Depot. I'm one of their U23 riders. Been with them, this is my 3rd year now with them. Pivot, DT Swiss, Cliff, Lem Helmets is a really new one. Cadence Promotions, ESI Grips, Castelli, and Maxxis. Working at Absolute Bikes, they do a ton for me. They help me out so much. Brian Lauder. I do, mountain bike and road bike. Last one I did in February was at 2:33. I always have to put on my left shoe first, and then the same breakfast all the time. Oatmeal, a little bit of maple syrup, and like 2 types of berries. So like raspberries, blueberries, maybe sometimes blackberries, and then always coffee. I always like to have bananas with me. Good cookie on a really big ride. Cliff stuff, so like the blocks, I really enjoy their blocks. I'd say like my favorite flavor is probably salted watermelon. That's always a solid go-to. Their bars are super good. I like keeping it simple with just the chocolate chip one. Probably strawberry.
Really?
Yeah, I like the strawberry ones. One of my friends, Katie, Daisy Ward, I've ridden with her a few times up here. I actually just did my first century ride with her probably about a month ago. And then of course my teammates, Zadie, Riley, Macy, Addie, and then Becca. It kind of depends on the race. So like in BAA, I was always chasing Amy Shandos. And then Ellie Craft, like she's just super quick. And then during like the UCI races, I try to keep up with Stella Cisneros. I was on the podium during the Cactus Cup Enduro with Rose Grant and Aaron Huck, which was awesome. I got third in that race. Anywhere from 19 to 21. I'm actually running Ardents in a 2.4, which has been a lot of fun, but usually I'll run like a 2.25. For racing, that's definitely what I go with. I'll go with like the Aspen or the Icon. 720 right now. One of my favorites in Prescott is 318. TJ Woodruff. Chuck Norris. California, Utah, Arizona, West Virginia, and Colorado. Last year during the Whiskey, I had never seen the Skull Valley descent before, get going fast down that, and I ended up flatting on my front tire at 20 miles an hour-ish, and it sent me over the handlebars. I had to get 4 stitches in my knee. Chloe Woodruff. It depends on the day. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, I want these gone, and then other times, like especially after a big ride, I'm like, man, kind of shows on my tan lines that like I'm putting in the work. I know the California series just said that they were gonna get some races going here pretty soon, so maybe try and hit some of those.